What's up, everybody? Welcome to Thursday night underwriting. Did we make it here last week? I don't know if we did the underwriting last week. We didn't. We actually looked at a deal that we have under contract. So now we're back and we are going to do what we do every Thursday, which is to do some underwriting. And how do we go from nothing to getting a deal under contract, submitting an offer, all the due diligence process, all of that. So there's a couple people that I have invited, especially to this call today, and they have asked to underwrite some deal that they have. So let me see who's here. In the meantime, while we're kind of still waiting for people to jump onto this call, this call was designed and came about after our Monday night call. And yes, invite people to this call. The more, the merrier. The goal is to have more people learn how to underwrite deals and how to find good deals, right? If they say that it takes 100 deals to find one good deal and you're out there doing it on your own, what's the chances that you're actually going to find a good deal and at the same time be able to execute it and take it down and, get it under contract? Or if we build an army of people that know how to underwrite deals, can look at deals the way that we look at deals, that Legends looks at deals, then 100 people looking at deals, we could find a good deal every single day. That's the goal. The goal is to have such a deep pipeline of deals. And, on this call, I would like to help people get there, answering questions, because so many people join different groups and not get the support that they need, so everybody here, if you see somebody that has a Legends background, they are in the mentorship and they do know how to underwrite deals and how to look at deals the way that we do. So anybody here that has that background is good to reach out to ask questions of, and I'm always available as well. Part of our philosophy and our core value is in service, in giving, in charity, and we know that as we help other people win, that we're going to win as well. All right, so we really, really embrace and preach the philosophy of giving first, being a contribution. So let me start by answering some questions. And I actually cannot find, I'm trying to multitask here, so please, Nick, can you help me just accept people into the room?
Yeah.
Because the mouse that you set up for me, I can't even click admit. It just skips over it.
Okay.
All right. So you're gonna have to do that. So you gotta pay attention. There's a lot of people still hopping in. Yeah, and that's the goal. The goal right here, Lene, is to help you underwrite deals, to give you something to go from Thursday to Thursday to practice and then come back every week and say, hey, this is the question I have. I don't know how to underwrite deals this way. So we've done everything from napkin underwrite. Okay, napkin underwriting is that initial getting, seeing if the deal is worth going deeper. And then we have the Michael Blank sheet that we use, that gets us a little bit deeper on the deal. And my mouse. I do want to share with you guys one thing real quick. I was on a mastermind call today, the Warrior call, and one of the speakers, or one of the speaker for the day, he actually showed this really interesting chart, which I want to, if I can click share screen. Okay. This is called a hairy chart. It's funny. This kind of it shows the past of how, it shows like in the past 20 years or 20 so years, how people have predicted the forward curve of interest rates. So if you see these little lines, these are hairy lines that they have predicted what was going to happen in the market. And everybody always said, oh my God, interest rate's going to come up. Interest rate's going to come up. Yeah, at some point they are right. but you see how everybody is always predicting like doomsday's coming, and only about 20% of the times are they right, but 80% of the times they are not. And here's the mindset that I want everybody to get down. Okay. If 80% of the times people that are out there teaching and the news and everybody is saying that, the sky is going to fall, 80% of the times they're wrong, why would you buy into that? Why would you buy into that scenario? Okay. And, what goes up also must come down. So there's a lot of people saying, don't buy deals, don't buy deals. My philosophy in real estate in the last 18 years, 17 years is it doesn't matter where the market is. You buy if the numbers make sense. You don't buy into the news, okay? Never buy into the news, because what happens on these charts right here is if you bought right here and the deal made sense, okay? Yes, you lose some evaluation of your property, but you still have cash flow. Cash flow is still going here. It carries you over. If you buy up here, actually, no, sorry. If you bought up here and the interest rates came down, your property actually gained a lot of value. And then here's the same. You might have lost some value while interest rates going up, but it came back down. If you bought here, it's all right. Like inflation, okay, over this period of time is much, much greater than the difference in interest rate here. And also your cash flow, the rent increases, the percentage is much greater than the changes right here. All right. So in real estate, over the course, I wish there was another line right here that showed the increase in value of real estate over time. Maybe we should like create one. But what I want to land right here is that people are always saying that the sky is falling. But the people that are making the big institutions out there, they don't play into this game. Everything is neutral for them. Right now, pension funds and and these big funds are calling for money, so they sell their real estate. And yes, money at this point right now is expensive. But look at these charts. If you bought anywhere up here, let's say it goes up to 6%. Okay, this is the SOFR. This is if it goes to 6%, which they're saying that it's probably 5 and 5.5. But you don't need to wait for the top. There is no catching the top. Never try to catch the bottom or catch the top when you're investing. It's just got to make sense. If you bought anywhere around here, okay, as long as your numbers make sense, as long as you're playing it safe, you're not buying a variable rate all the way down here and catching it up here. That is dangerous, obviously. But if you can withstand it, if you have enough cash flow and it withstands, this deal is going to make money. So right now where we are is we're here. Okay. At any given point, this thing's going to come back like it always does in every single chart. It goes up, it comes down, it flattens out, it goes up, it comes down, and it's just going to keep doing this. But if you can catch something anywhere from now to whenever it's going to come back, you're going to make money on your deal. Okay? So I don't buy, and you guys can think whatever you want, but I just want to share my opinion, and this is how I've done real estate, is I don't buy it. I don't buy the you got to wait and all that. Now, there obviously are some things that make sense, and you got to take all the stuff that people say, including what I say, with a grain of salt. Okay, what logically makes sense? There are a lot of people that was very ambitious from 2008 all the way to now. There's just people were making money left and right in real estate, and they got comfortable. So they did go into plays where it was very risky, getting adjustable loans and variable loans and short-term bridge debts, which now coming up here, it really hurts their cash flow or puts them in the negative. Okay, so that is happening. And some people haven't bled enough to have to sell, to have to refinance. Okay, but there are people that's going to happen to. So are good deals going to come? Yes, it's going to come. When is it going to come? Do not try to guess that. That's what I want to say. I want to land here is do not try to guess when those deals are going to come, when the market's going to turn, because I guarantee you, if you notice that the market turns, it is already too late. It has already turned and you have already missed the boat. We saw how fast the market turned on us, right? That was within a couple months. If you're doing multifamily deals, your deal's not closing in 60 days. It's probably closing in 90, 120 days. So by the time you think it's a good time to go in and you see that the market's coming back, now you got another 120 days to go before you actually can close that deal. A lot happens in that time. All right. And I do believe as technology and as people get more savvy in the game, things will happen faster and faster and faster. There's a book called Theory U. Okay. And it says that back in the day, like the golden ages or whatever, in the industrial ages, as it goes from one age to another, the period gets shorter and shorter. And we're in like an information age. And then we're moving into this technology age. And it's just the time of these ages are getting shorter. And we got to be able to adapt quicker and quicker. But one thing that will never change is if you get the numbers to make sense in your underwriting and you're conservative and you have cash flow, okay, and there are opportunities for you to increase the value of a property, which in multifamily is to increase income, is to increase the NOI, which is to decrease income expenses or to increase income. That's how you increase NOI. If you can do any of those things, then you'll be good. As long as you have fixed debt, okay, you don't get too ambitious, you have cash flow day one. This is why the way that we invest, like we're super like cautious. Some people talk about you have to get, if you see a deal that's returning 10, 12, 13% cash on cash, I would be super skeptical about that, especially in today's market, right? The interest rates are so high. How can you possibly do that, right? Did somebody really just sell you a deal like that? Or it must be in such a bad neighborhood that you'll have other problems and you probably won't be able to collect it. Okay, that's the cap rate difference. So if you can get a 10% cash on cash, you're probably looking at 11, 12 cap. Now, here's the rule of thumb for real estate is the higher the cap rate, the lower the quality of the property. And yeah, if you don't watch the news, then don't listen to all the people that are telling you the sky is falling. That's the caution that I want to give to everybody. If everybody is saying the one thing that always works, and I learned this from my Forex trading days, is when everybody believes one thing, you should consider the other thing. You should consider going the other way. If everyone wants to sell, you should consider buying. If everyone is buying, you should consider hanging out and waiting. Right? Because here's the two perspectives. The two perspectives is this market right now, one way to look at it is everybody's house is on fire. All these deals that took on these risky loans and that played that type of game short term. Let me try to go in there with bridge debt, renovate, blah, 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 all of this and refi real quick. Well, now you're trying to refi into a 6%, 7%, 8% interest rate. That's not going to, all the work that you've done on that property, you're going to lose it on that refi. And now all of a sudden the deal that once looked really good is now real shitty. So on one perspective is everything's on fire. Okay. Even the big guys. Okay. The big guys, I know Brad Sumrock, he's got a cash call going right now. Robert Martinez, his house is on fire. He's trying to refi as quick as he can because things are upside down. The banks are asking for more things, more reserves. Okay. And if your interest rate is fluctuating with the market, they're going to ask for more money. More money that you got to put in every month. Maybe it's $5,000 in reserves every month. And now your deal isn't looking as good to the bank anymore. The bank's like, dude, you got to put 25,000. That kills cash flow. So on one perspective, house is on fire. And if everybody's like, oh my God, the market is terrible, the recession is coming, and it's all coming from people's houses that are on fire, you can listen to that perspective, or you can listen to the perspective that everything's on sale. Because for a buyer and for somebody that is in the right position, everything's on sale. If somebody's house is on fire, that means things are on sale. Like there are three, I posted this week, there's 3 Ds in which you get great deals. Death, okay, death in the family, and people want out. They inherit something and they're like, I don't want to run this real estate deal. They're going to sell it. They'll probably take a discount. They don't really care about getting the most out of it. Second one, divorce. Yes, Natalia has been watching my videos. And the third one is disaster. Okay, disaster is another one. Yes, Jessica also. I went to Fort Myers. Like one of my friends was like, you got to come and look at what's happening. I was like, okay, I remember hurricane came and rocked the whole city, and everything's destroyed. But now it's like 6 months later, 5 months later, I don't know what the opportunity is there. He's like, you got to come and see it for yourself. I drive by Fort Myers Beach. Everything is knocked over, or there's boats on top of houses. Okay. Disaster creates opportunity as well. So these are the 3 Ds that produces that. But if everybody is afraid, somebody's going into Fort Myers, and there's going to be players that are going to make a whole ton of money. And I'll tell you, one of them is Marriott. Marriott is aggressively right now building Margaritaville in Fort Myers. It got rocked. Yeah, I left. So Fort Myers got destroyed. Marriott had paid all this money to create their Margaritaville. All of a sudden, everything gets rocked. It goes on sale. The Marriott just bought up beachfront properties. They bought an RV park next to their initial property. All these properties that were not on sale before, all of a sudden is on sale for Marriott. Okay. And the reason why I'm taking so much time right now is because I want everybody to have the right mindset first. Mindset is greater than the doing. Knowing how to do this is great. It's super easy. You can go on YouTube, you can go everywhere, and you can find the doing. You can buy Michael Blank's course. I'm going to tell you how to underwrite. I want people to have the right mindset, or at least a different perspective. Nick, I can't click admit. Trying. All right. So now Marriott is going to go and build this. They had plans for something. All of a sudden they got everything on discount, and they literally bought like the beach. It's crazy. We drove by, everything is on sale. Every house is on sale. Every hotel is on sale. There was a beachfront hotel, like literally on the beach, $25 million. Everything's completely destroyed, including the penthouse. I think the waves were so big, the flooding was so big that even the penthouse got destroyed. So, there's just a lot of opportunities out there, and you don't have to just wait. You just got to know how to underwrite deals and how to spot opportunities. All right. So I'll take a break here and answer some questions in terms of finding good deals. Let's keep everything to finding good deals, underwriting deals, all the way up to closing a deal. We're not going to talk about operations of deals or anything like that. And then we can even underwrite deals if my mouse will work. So you can just you can raise your hand.
What's your main focus on how many units you go after? Your criteria on that?
Mm-hmm. So my main criteria first is the location. Okay. And then obviously we won't do anything under 16 units. I think there's opportunities even at 16, but we want to do like 30, 50, like 75 plus units. That would be ideal. So 75
Thank you.
plus units. What DCR are you underwriting to? Yeah, so also lenders are looking for 1.25, 1.35. All right, so we are looking, we are very conservative. We're not over leveraging at all. Like our deals, we're looking at we're underwriting them at 35 to 40% down payment. Okay, we're looking for like 60 to 65% LTV. LTV is loan to value. How much they're willing to loan you based on the value of the property. So with 35, 40%, if you can get, 1.35, 1.4, you're in good position. Like when you underwrite the deal, you're not going to get a surprise from the lender saying, oh, no, you're going to have to put up more money. We want to underwrite. We have a lot of brokers, lenders that we work with that are telling us exactly what we need to do. I don't want to underwrite it. And I brought a couple of them onto this call before, but I don't want to underwrite it and then go over there and then find out I have to re-underwrite the deal. I want to know what your criteria is first, and then we'll underwrite to it. Man, this mouse. Hold on one second. I'll take more question as I'm putting this other mouse in place. Raising capital. Yeah, capital raising is also a thing right now. I mean, we talk about it in our group. I think I love multifamily because it gives you an opportunity to actually build relationships. I always talk about relationships being number one, and raising capital from friends and family and from people is a very uncomfortable conversation. That's where your relationship will grow, or at least have the opportunity to grow. And having those uncomfortable conversations. Now go ahead, bro. Quentin, go ahead.
Yeah, so I tried to get the Michael Blank underwriting sheet, and I ended up doing the syndicated deal analyzer. And that's probably not the same thing, is it?
Yeah, that's the analyzer is a underwriting sheet. So, oh my God, this mouse.
Yeah, because I didn't have that much time to go through it, but I just signed up for that, and so I could do more, figure out more underwriting stuff to get the sheets.
You're lagging a little bit. Hang on.
Yeah, so I tried to get that for tonight, but I don't know how to put it on so I can see it on here. So I guess I'll have to wait on that.
Right. All right. So hang on. Nick, I plugged this mouse in, even the cord mouse. Now I can't click anything. Technical difficulties, guys. So we'll just continue to answer a little more questions before I pull up this.
Does the other mouse work?
I just plugged it in, and the other one I can't click
Does the
on things.
wireless one work?
Bro, that's the one I was having problems with, so I plugged this one
So
in.
neither of them work?
Now this one doesn't work.
Dude.
Like my left click doesn't do anything.
I think it will need a restart or something. But
Actually, no, it's working now. Okay, great. All right. So is it a good time for creative financing? Yes, definitely. So in 2008, 2009, a lot of people made crazy money because sellers were in trouble and they couldn't get the loans. And it's the same thing that's happening right now. Loan assumptions and seller financing and creative financing is definitely something that we really want to do. We want to do like 10, 15 of them this year. So every deal that we look at, we actually go to the seller and we go to the broker, and Joe's with me on a lot of these offers that we've made. Is will they entertain seller financing? Okay. And here's the thing about it. You have to get the brokers on board. Okay. Don't try to go straight to the seller. Sellers that have brokers on their deals, they will listen to the brokers. Okay. The ones that you're going to get seller financing on are probably somewhere under $10 million. They are not a syndication. They're not an institution. They are a mom pop that has owned the property for, many, many years. So there are ways that you can look at properties using Crexy, CoStar, Property Radar. What's the other one? PropStream. These are all things that you can look at how long they've had their loans for, and how much money they owe. Those are good indications of, all right, well, this is a mom pop. They may be interested in doing seller financing. Yeah, one of first. Are they open to seller financing? And if they are, then we start dictating that. Then we start having that conversation. Okay, tell me what the seller wants, right? Why are they selling? What do they want? How can we create a win-win? Like we want the sellers to win too. We want to give you the price that you want, but we also need to make sure that it makes sense for our investors. So then the conversation, this is why it's called creative financing. Then it gets creative. Okay. Let's see. We can give Joe, maybe we can give an example of that storage deal that we offered. We didn't get it, but it's still around, so we'll see.
Which one?
The one that we try to do seller financing, and I was refusing to put any money down, wanted to get $0 down that deal.
Yeah, so you want me to run through it and explain
Yeah,
it to everybody?
let's talk about it, and then I'm gonna pull
Okay.
up a deal so we can start plugging some things into the Michael Blank sheet.
Yeah, so their asking price was approximately 1.8 million. So we looked at the NOI and it was doing, I think, about 224,000
No,
gross. Their NOI
it
was
was like
one.
120. It was like 124.
Yeah, their gross was 220, 224, and their NOI, I think, was 119. So it was they had it valued maybe a little bit high, but we went in and we said, I said, are they open to seller financing? He said, I don't know. Let me ask. They came back and he says, what are you thinking? And I said, well, I came up with something creative, which I think is a win-win for everybody involved. He said, okay, give it to me. I said, all right, we'll give them exactly what they want, but we'll give them $200,000 and have them hold the note 1.6 million, and we'll pay them 5% interest. And our intention is to do a cash out refi at year 5, and we'll give them their 1.6 at year 5. And they're making 5% every year on the 1.6. So he said to me, well, I think the magic number, they have a $300,000 debt left. So I said, okay. I said, that's fair enough. I said, we'll give them 300,000. So we'll give them 300,000 and they hold the note 1.5 and we'll pay them 5%. So that's $75,000 a year. They're going to get 300 year 5. They're going to get their 1.5 and they're also going to make $75,000 for each year. So they're in reality, they're going to get about 2.2, almost 2.2 million for the property. But for us, we don't have to come out of pocket. We don't have to go get a loan, at 60% or 65% on 1.8 million, right? We only have to come out of pocket 300,000, which we could, to create a story, we could get a hard money lender and not have to come out of any money out of pocket, right? And this thing still cashes. It still makes sense. So they countered with, he actually came back and said they made a mistake. They have a $700,000 debt. And we put in a last and final at 400,000, and we haven't heard from them. But what I did find out is that their loan, they have to refinance their loan in August. So we're just going to wait. The deal is still on the market, and we're just going to wait. And I think more time passes, more pressure is put on them.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm trying to share a my whiteboard. It's I just moved, so we have a lot of new equipment. I set up a whole podcast studio, and technology's not really doing its thing right now. Nick, how do I share my iPad? And you guys still can put questions in the chat,
Should-
things like that right now.
Share screen and then one of the basic, there should be iPhone or there should be an AirPlay.
Yeah.
And then you should, on your iPad, you have to connect to your laptop. The AirPlay.
Do I need to be on the same Wi-Fi or something?
Think so. I don't know. Think so. Then you should have that like box in a box for screen mirroring, and you should see your Mac Mini.
Oh, it says connect to the Wi-Fi CenturyLink. Okay. All right. So yeah, let's take a couple more questions while I'm doing this Wi-Fi connection thing. And then I'm going to show you guys something.
Alex, quick question. When you're looking for seller finance and you're going through the broker, who would pay the broker off if the whole deal is through seller finance? Would the owner pay for it, or would you just kind of get the broker out the way and pay them off?
Yeah, so this is why you want to do your underwriting so well that you can decide, and this is why it's creative financing, because in one of the deals that we actually got for seller financing, we paid the broker $300,000 hard, and that was day one. It didn't even go towards the deal. We had to pay it hard. So that because we knew the deal was so good. Now, if you just heard about this deal without, knowing the context of everything, people would just say, dude, you're crazy. Never, ever do that. Every deal is different, and this
Yeah, I've
deal
heard
is
on
unique.
both sides as well, so I just wondered your take on it, because some people are telling me just pay off the agent, get him out the way, and others are, no, let the owner pay it. He has to pay it anyways. He was gonna pay it initially. So that's why I asked.
Yeah, every deal is unique, and you want to make sure that can the deal handle it, so I'll show you guys in a second. I cannot get this thing to connect. Oh, it's connected. Can you guys see my screen? You guys see this white screen?
Yes.
Yes, it worked.
Yes.
Oh my God. So, I don't like white. Hang on. Okay. Joe, let's look at that deal again so people can see it as well.
Okay.
So you said the deal. So let's just look at the NOI. The NOI. Oh my God, it's the thickest marker ever. Hold on.
Get out of my chair.
Can you protect my food?
Why?
I'm gonna, I want to get my drink and get a knife.
No, take your plate with you. My hands are full.
Let's mute
I
that.
have another piece.
All right. Thanks for sharing that. Okay, that looks like a good size pen. That's not gonna get too crazy. All right, we're back to the board. NOI. Okay, this is the net operating income. It is your income after expenses before debt. NOI, net operating income. Joe, you said it was what, like 124?
124,385.
Okay, 124.
Yep.
So if we were to offer, I think we said we were our final was like a 300,000 or 400,000, right?
Right.
Okay, they want it how much?
1.8, and they actually came down to 1.7. So
Okay, so purchase price. Okay, they wanted 1.7 million. Okay, even if they wanted 1.8, If this deal made a lot of sense and you can put no money down, you want to do it. Okay, this is why you got to underwrite deals, create scenarios in which it's a win-win. There is no never do this, never pay the broker, never, go hard day one. There's no nevers. And creative financing is about how to create win-wins. Okay, this is a $1.7 million deal. If we had to, we could raise the whole 1.7 and close as cash. All right, so it's not like a risky deal. Okay, but I'm committed not to put any money down on this deal. So I'm going to tell you what we did. So $1.7 million is what they want. We're going to put down, we this is what we suggested, right? Because we thought they had a $300,000 debt. But either way, in this market, nobody's buying, and they're going to hit their refinance in August, and they're going to hit with a higher interest rate than what they have right now. So either that or they got to pay off their debt, which is their goal. We wanted to put $300,000 down payment, and they hold $1.4 million at 5% interest rate. This means they get $300,000. We're not closing this deal until we get a loan. So basically they're holding like a lease for us. It's like a lease to own. $1.4 million at 5%.
70,000.
Okay. So 1.4 million times 0.05. Your debt service, this is DS, debt service, is $70,000 a year. We will pay them. Okay. NOI is 124,000. We still have $54,000 in cash flow from a $300,000 down payment. So if they said yes to this, right, we can service this debt, and we're gonna get $54,000 a year from 300,000. 54K divided by 300K that we put down is 18% cash on cash. That's sick. We'd do that any day, right? How do we make this deal even better? Let's say they said yes to that. What I was going to do is go get a $300,000 loan at 8% interest. So let's cross this scenario out for a second. So we have 300,000 times 0.08. So for the 300K loan, it's going to cost us 24K to service that debt per year, right? Because 300K times 0.08 is 24K. Plus the seller holding the 1.4 million, $70,000. Okay, that's 94K that it costs to service the entire thing. And we still have, right? The NOI was 124K. We make 30K a year, $0 out of pocket. I wanted that. Okay. Even if we made 20,000, 15,000 a year with 0 out of pocket, I wanted to make that story. So that's what I was really committed to. I'm like, okay, we'll put 400K down, but we're not going to what we're not going to do is put 700 or 800K down, because now we can go get a debt. We can go get a loan and do this now.
And offer them less money.
And I was like, listen, if you're going to do it, we're going to come $1.2 million. Okay. That's what we'll do. If you're going to make us get our own loan, we want to pay you this. Like, think about this as a win-win on the seller side. See, for us, it seems like it's great for us, right? For the seller, let's look at the seller side. The seller gets $300,000 in their pocket. They also get 70K per year. Let's say it's 5 years. Okay, that's what, 350K? 70K times 5 years. Yeah. So
650.
no, that's 350. Oh yeah. Well, so another 350K. That's 650K they're gonna get. Plus, oh wait, 1.4 million when we close on year 5. That means they were selling this property for 1.7 million. Now they're going to get 2,050,000 on this deal if they just wait 5 years. Okay, what's the alternative? The alternative for them is they had what, a $600,000 debt that they wanted to get. Even if they sold the property at 1.7 million, okay, let's say 1.6 after, you know, whatever commission and closing costs and all that, they're going to get $1 million from this deal. And that's all they got. They can close right now and get 1 million. Or, and actually, they're not even going to get 1.6 million because we were going to come in at 1.2, 1.3. Nobody's coming in at 1.7 in today's market. So maybe they get 1.3 million, you know, after all closing and everything. So they end up going home with 700K. Or they get 300,000 now, right? And then they get 70K a year for 5 years. You know, even if we, let's take this down because maybe they have their debt, right? They have their 600K debt. And I think we found out what was their interest rate. I don't know, times, it was a while ago. So let's say it's maybe it's 24,000. Right? So let's just less 24K a year here for their debt. That's still $46,000 times 5 years. It's a difference of, in 5 years, do they get 700K or do they get 2 million? And they get a salary every year. What they're making today is 124K, and they got to do the work. They got to run it and they got to do work. Or, and actually it's before debt. So maybe they're doing like 100 or 90, or they get 46,000 a year, not doing anything, which we found out they wanted to retire. They don't want to own it anymore. All right. So this is that creative financing. This is the possibilities here. Okay. You can do this in all different markets now, and everywhere. So we got another deal that we actually closed on, seller financing. They wanted questions actually for this deal. Yeah, it's fun, man. Real estate is so much fun. If you're not having fun, you should not be doing real estate. Don't make it super stressful. Like, we have a lot of fun looking at deals, making offers on deals, cracking jokes, laughing at realtors. Like, it's fun. Okay, so have fun while you're doing this. If you're not having fun, my motto is if you're not having fun, don't do it. Okay. Thoughts? Questions? And here's the invitation too. The invitation is to be here. And I say this on every call, like you paid $500,000 to sit here, because it could be what you may take away from here. It could be a real life scenario that's very much like what you're going to face. And that could be millions of dollars in differences in what you're going to make. So if you're here in that way, then it's possible for you. If you're here just kind of chilling, just checking it out, let me see what this is about, then that's just what you're going to get. All right. So the invitation is to get super engaged and, you know, get some value out of this. It's up to you to get it.
I had a question where you had it, where you're paying them off on the 70K, but then you said once you're gonna, I guess, refinance, that he was still gonna get the 1 point. Is it that
Yeah.
one? He was still gonna get the 1.4.
Yes.
So are you not paying down the loan with the 70K for the 5 years?
No, we're going interest only. We don't want to.
Okay, I didn't hear that part. Okay.
Yeah. So
Gotcha.
yeah, at 5%, we're paying interest only, and they hold on to it.
Got it. Okay.
And they're still satisfying their loan.
Yeah. And they're satisfied and they don't have to do anything. They completely go do whatever they want to do and just get cash in their pocket. Now we're doing them a favor. We're creating passive income for them. Before they were active. Yeah. Okay. So I'll show you one more example. Then I'm going to show you guys something that nobody else shows. Okay. Which is a GP table. Quentin was gonna bring a T12 and we were gonna write in the Michael blank sheet. I always think that's really boring writing in that sheet because anybody can just kind of go and buy the course and start plugging things into it. It's like super boring. I
Hey,
like
Alex.
creative shit. Yeah, go ahead. Who's that?
Sorry, bro. Quick question on that. On that last deal, because you're about to. This is a new deal you're talking about next, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So on that last deal, I love how you set everything up. Creative financing is literally the best. Why do you think they didn't take it? You think they're just trying to work out their other options first?
Well, there could be a lot of reasons. And Joe, go ahead. You were more in contact with the broker.
Yeah, so Jacqueline asked earlier in the chat, I don't know if everybody read it, but why are they selling? So they're selling because there's 3 partners. All of them are older.
Yeah, owned it for too long.
They've had the property for a long time. They've been in real estate. One of them was a big real estate guy in Stewart or in North Florida. But one of them is his health is not great at all. All 3 of them, obviously they're older and they want to retire. They don't want to hold the property anymore, but mainly it's because they're really concerned about the third guy's health, and they don't know how long he's going to be, and they don't want to have stuff held up, tied up with the other family member. And honestly, they want to get out of the deal, but they want us to pay off their debt. They don't want to hold on to this for another 5 years because they don't know if this guy's going to be around for another year.
Mm-hmm.
Got you. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So would it have benefited to work something out where whatever that the guy who's, this is gonna sound real bad to say, but the guy who's gonna check out early, would it have been beneficial to figure a way to allow him to get his money faster and everybody else kind of gets it on a delay on the back end of that?
Yeah.
5 or 6.
We totally could have gone much deeper and deal with all of that. But here's the reality of it. $1.6 million deal is too small. Like, we didn't even really want to do it. I wanted to do it because I wanted this story. I wanted to be like, I got this deal in this market with no money down. And like everybody in our group got to see this go down. I have no doubt in my mind, as more people bleed, and even these guys, as they get closer to their refinance,
the motivation,
they may say yes. They may come back to us. We hang around. We have a whole list of brokers that everybody on our team speaks to in different markets, and we keep checking back on like, hey, what's going on here? What's going on here?
Yeah, and by the way, our last and final, they didn't say no to.
Okay. Yeah, that's why I was asking. I was like,
the deal is still alive, and time, August is going to be here real quick.
Yeah.
So
no, it's super great job. Thanks for sharing that. And that's the number one thing I learned in time is the great negotiator.
Yeah, and it's patience. Like, we get to access patience. Like, sellers are bleeding, and they're bleeding across the board. But, we're not looking to time and get the best deal that we possibly can. Like, if it makes sense, like this deal makes sense, why would I want to club them a little bit harder? Like, I'm not waiting to club them a little bit harder. This deal, if we get it this way over the course of 4 or 5 years, we're all going to make a lot of money. But it's also $1.6 million. So, like, it's not where I want to focus our attention. Like, we're looking at deals. We got a best and final on a $30.5 million deal. We're a couple $1 million off from where they want to be. But, again, we're not that desperate. We'll wait. We know the offers that they got. They got 14 other offers, and some of them were in the low 20s, and we offered $30.5 million. We were best and final day one. Okay, I'm not moving. If we made best and final day one, I'm not moving from where we are. Like, I'm not gonna go and satisfy the seller anymore because, I feel like we already came in at as high as we could go. you know, being super conservative. So anyways, this is a $1.6 million deal. Joe really liked it. He kept pushing for it. I'm like, dude, it's $1.6 million. It's like a freaking single family house. All right. Even though it was like, you know, a ton of storage deals. But anyways, yeah,
It's
good
gonna
question.
come back.
It's
It's
gonna
gonna
come
come
back.
back to us.
I feel
We're
it.
all gonna talk about this deal again.
Yeah. And some of you guys may have heard me talk about this like maybe a month ago or a month and a half ago. We talk about a lot of deals that we've done that we're just hanging around the rim on. Right? There was another storage deal, Class A. So we're gonna tell you our game plan. Our game plan is we're looking at Class A storage deals coming out right now. People got greedy and got aggressive, and everybody went and started building Class A storage deals with construction bridge debt. They thought they can hang on for 3 years. Now they can only hang on for 1. They don't even have the time to go and lease up the property and then sell it. They're trying to sell it empty right now. They're just like, we got to get this off our hands. I know how much we did research, and we were looking at another deal, and we know how much it costs to build, right, per square foot. So based on these deals, we're like, okay, we know it costs them $8 million to build. It's probably costing them another $2 million for all the carrying costs and whatever else that they did. 10 million all in. And they want 18, 19 million. They're already dropping down to 15, 14. If they come down to 12 and 11, we're going to steal it. Like, we're waiting. We have our strategies. And if you guys find them, you know, we're looking. So now, like, these are things you want to listen and hear is like, oh, if I run into a Class A deal in the locations that Alex and his Legends team are looking at, then we should go to them. You know, if we get one that they haven't seen already, good luck finding a deal that Joe hasn't seen, though. Joe's like a hound. He's got every broker in Florida. So, you know, it's yeah, that's more. We like to share transparency, teamwork, collaboration. This is what we're all about. All right. So any other questions about that deal? I'll share with you guys another thing, and then we go on for another 30 minutes, and I'll show you guys how the GP side works. And I don't think anybody teaches this. I think it's important. All right. So we have another deal, right? And this deal we actually closed. We talked about this deal like we're talking about this $1.6 million deal on one of these Thursday calls, and then we closed it. And now it's a deal we're talking about that we closed. So this is last year on one of these underwriting calls. We were like, dude, we got this cool deal. We shouldn't. We let it hang around. We didn't do it. And then the next week, we're like under contract with it. Crazy story. I won't talk about it right now. Ryan will probably talk about it at some point. If you want to hear this story, talk to Ryan. Ryan's on here. Ryan, say hi.
Hey. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Which part of the story do you want me to tell?
I don't know,
there's
but
so many-
Ryan had to take his shirt off. Okay. He had to take his shirt off to get this deal. Literally.
That was one part of the story. There was, I mean, the best part was just trying to get the freaking contract signed the next morning because it was, too early for where you were at over on the West Coast.
Yeah.
I'm on the East Coast, and I literally had to get the contract signed, and I had to get the document witnessed and just witnessed, not notarized. So I go to Wells Fargo in the morning thinking that, of course, I'm going to be able to, get help. And of course, whenever you try to go in there without an appointment, what do they tell you? You got to schedule an appointment. And I'm like, please, come on. You're going to make me schedule an appointment? I'm like, I got a contract. This guy's, barking in my ear, with my shirt on at this point. And I mean, I don't know, maybe that would help, but I'm talking to the lady. I go, hey, is there any way you can witness this for me? She's like, and while she's eating her Dunkin' Donuts and drinking her coffee, I'm like, and nobody's at her desk. She goes, nah, I can't. You got to schedule an appointment. I'm like, are you really? She's like, yeah. If you come back in a half an hour, I think I'll be able to help you. So I peel out and I go to the local UPS to get the documents printed out so I can have at least somebody, like witness the documents. I come back, I try to get the wire done, and she says, I can do the wire when you come back. So we start the wire, and
We're down to like the last 3 hours here,
yeah,
right?
this is the day of the auction. This is the thing that you left out, is this was an auction that was going to happen at 12 o'clock that day, and it was already 9 o'clock. So I only had about an hour and a half, and there was 4 people or something, 3 to 4 people that were flying in for the auction. Yeah, and I was trying to steal this thing before the auction happened, and the broker Elliot Paul was screaming at me. He's like, Ryan, it's too late, and we're already hard $200,000. We're hard 200,000. And it's funny because the night before I was barking at everybody else because we needed to raise $300,000 for, you guessed it, the $300,000 to pay off Elliot Paul, who was screaming in my ear the next morning that I wasn't going to be able to do the deal, to pay him his 10% commission. 10% he was getting paid commission on a $3 million deal. He was getting paid $300,000, and he was screaming at me, "You're not going to get the money in time. You have 10 minutes." So I finally get the wire done, and I'm about to get the thing signed, or I think I was going to get it signed. She's like, "Oh, that's a witness. I can only do notaries." I'm like, "Are you kidding me? You won't just witness this?" She's like, "No, I can only do notaries." I'm like, "Oh my God." So luckily I grew up literally 2 blocks from where this Wells Fargo was, on the phone with my, one of my, I'm 51, this dude that I've known for 47 years, Bob Smith, his wife, or his mom, Nancy. I'm like, "Nancy, get outside, please. You got to sign this, you got to witness this document for me." She's in real estate, so she gets it. She's outside. I like stop in the middle of the street. I like get out to have her, have her sign it. I'm right. She's writing it on, on the table or the top coffee table and on my back. And I'm like, "Thank you. Gotta go." Didn't even say hi to her. And then I get it over to Elliot Paul. And he's like, "Okay, I got it. We'll see what happens." And he hangs up on me. And then an hour and a half later, I call him back. I'm like, "Elliot, so do we get the deal?" He's like, "Oh," he's like, "Man, somebody offered all cash, $200,000 more than you guys." And I'm like silent. I'm like, "Oh my God, we didn't get the deal." And he's like, "You there?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "But we went with you." And I'm like, "Oh my God." I'm like, "Thank you." I was like, "Yes." So yeah, he was just messing with me, and now we got a great relationship. I got to call him up actually, and that's how these relationships are, fostered and solidified. Is I told him, I said, "Elliot, have you ever had that happen before?" He's like, "No, I've been doing this for 30 years. I've never had a deal close 20 minutes before, the auction was
Go
supposed
under
to happen."
contract.
So go under contract. So he's like, "Yep, you got to know." I mean, and we got a pretty good reputation in the area for that deal. Like everybody was talking about it, and so as Joe was talking to other brokers, they're like, "Oh, you guys are the ones, the team that got that deal," and so yeah, it's really cool how now, not only with Elliot but now with other brokers, we're kind of, we've got this little streak going, or reputation that's going to hopefully carry on until we find some really good deals here.
Yeah, and the really beautiful thing about this is, like, as a team, everybody can leverage and talk about this deal and to build a relationship with other brokers. Like, people can tell this story, on our team, and it builds the relationships. It doesn't have the brokers go and ask, "Hey, you got proof of funds," all this stuff. As soon as you talk about this story, they know. Everybody knew about this story. It's wild.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, we had 30 days. He's like, "Okay, $300,000 hard day one, does not go towards the deal." Okay, so it didn't go towards the deal. We have to raise. Okay, what we also got was, we negotiated. We got 1.5 million at 7% interest only from the seller. So we didn't have to go to the bank. We didn't have to do anything. Really, all we did was we had to raise 1.5 million. We have to raise 1.5 million, 30 days, no extensions. He's like, "Not one day. You're not getting any extensions on this deal." Because that's just how they like operate with, these auction brokers. Anyways,
Well,
we said yes.
also because he knows that if it goes back on, if he auctions it
Oh,
again,
he
he
had
gets another
guys
300.
ready. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was going to
He's
take
gonna
our
get
money. He was going to take our
Yeah.
money. And then he had guys offering 200K more right there, cash on the spot. Somebody flew in from like New York to do that. They were pissed.
Yeah.
So, anyways, 506B. So 506B, for anyone that doesn't understand, these are syndications. Okay, so when you do 506B, you can have like 35 unaccredited investors, which means they make less than 200,000 a year, or they don't have $1 million in net worth, not including their house. So 506C, and you're not allowed to advertise like publicly. Okay, 506C is something that could be accredited. You can advertise publicly, but you have to get accredited investors. They have to be, accredited investors. They have to have somebody sign off, right? So usually like a CPA or somebody that they're accredited. They have to be making $200,000 plus a year for the last 2 years. They have to have $1 million in net worth, okay, not including the home that they live in, or they have some like Series 7 test or something like that, saying they're a professional financial advisor, something like that. But you can advertise it publicly. We didn't care about all that. We're like, dude, we need to raise the money. We need to get this done. This takes about 14 days from an attorney to create. Okay, they create it. Maybe you get lucky if they're not doing anything else besides your work, because they have to. What they do is they have to create like a 94-page PPM. Okay, that's like the agreements and all that. You need 2. What they also do is they give you 2 LLCs, one to purchase the property, one for the general partners. Okay, that means 2 sets of operating agreements. And then they also have to create a subscription agreement for people to, it's basically stipulating that this money is only going into the purchase of this property. It's not being used for anything else. All that's an agreement that basically you and the investor will sign. Okay, they do all this. Then they have to go get it SEC approved. Somewhere around $15,000 is what this is going to cost you. Okay, so we got to go. 14 days. We have to wait 14 days to accept money, to be able to take in money. That means we got 16 days to get $1.5 million into a bank account. All right. And if you ever raise that type of capital in that short time, okay, and you're like, and you're getting it from friends and family, you really only have 4 days out of the week to do it. If the week is 7 days, 4 days to get people to do it. All right. That means we basically had 2 weeks, like 8 days. We had 8 days to get people money in the account. We were so close that Ryan had to take out $50 from his pocket at closing, okay, and pay. This deal just overall, I mean, the stories from this deal will last a lifetime, and it's going to get us other deals.
Yeah.
All right. How amazing this deal is. Okay. First of all, $1.5 million, 1.5 million at 7% is what?
I don't know.
Okay. It's 105K a year. Okay. This deal had one warehouse, 196 units of storage, and like 7 acres of land. 105,000 is our debt. Okay. The seller wants to lease back their warehouse from us at $12,500 a month. What's that? 12.5 times 12. So we have to pay the seller 105,000, and he pays us 150K on this deal. All right, I think whatever the expenses are, either way, we still had 196 units. Like, our debt was covered. Our expenses on storage was pretty much covered also from the seller, renting back. We got 196 units to make more money on. We got 7 acres of land that we're doing CapEx work on right now to get storage. I mean, to get boat and RV parking and all of that. The seller ended up giving us, how many offices did he give us?
There's like well, there's basically about another $1,500 in office space that we can rent, or per month, which is
Yeah.
nice.
That we didn't
And-
even include,
Yeah, and the greatest thing is we tried to really manage this thing ourselves, and we did. I mean, we did a really good job as best we could with the marketing and everything that we all know. But now what's really cool is that I can see the value having tried to do it ourselves for 4 or 5 months, and now handing it over to All Aboard. I mean, is just, we're building a relationship with them.
Yeah.
They're telling us about more events to go to, and they're solving pretty much all of our problems, and even down to the details of the golf cart that we're buying from the owner, that Emma from All Aboard is like, yeah, you got to make sure that they put distilled water in it, and that this and all that. I mean, all these little details.
All Aboard is a class A storage management company. When they saw our property, this is a 40-year-old property. They were like, no, we're not doing it. And we're like, we're not taking no for an answer. Give us another call. We have $1 million. We're going to put in the CapEx. You guys tell us everything you want to do, things like that. They're like, wow, these guys are serious.
Yeah.
So how we met All Aboard was because Joe found a deal that we went to look at. All of these things are all just connected. As you get deals done, things are connected. That means your goal is to figure out how to get with a team so that you can get your first deal done, so that you can have a story and you can start connecting dots and get more deals. You're not finding all these deals on Crexy or whatever. If you're only looking at deals on Crexy, you will be a whole year, 2 years, and not find any deals and not be able to do a deal.
Yeah. Yeah. And I will have to say, Alex, though, I went up to that deal with Joe, and we met their manager that oversees the management of the other properties in the northern part of the state of Florida.
Yeah.
And
More
I'm convinced that, I'm convinced. Well, exactly. We also found out about 2 other opportunities that day, or at least 1 or 2. And then I also developed a relationship with her. And I think that, along with just us getting to know Emma and Mike over there, and really convincing them of how strong our team was and the tools that we were using. I mean, Emma's now in base camp with us, and she sees all the past, to-dos that we had that we're knocking out, and how our team's been working on things. It was like that building of those relationships, really did help, I think, solidify getting a class A property management company for our, class B minus, at the time. It's soon to be hopefully B plus,
Yeah. This game, okay, I love this game because it's all about relationships. Okay, we get to actually play team. Life is a team sport. Okay, they say real estate is a team sport. Life is a team sport. Okay, you and your family, you're a team. You and your partner, you're a team. You and your kids, you guys are teams. You and your brothers, sisters, you guys are a team. You and your community, you and your friends, like this is all, everything is a team game. And multifamily gives us the opportunity to do that. So look, what I wanted to show on these 2 deals is, and I wasn't planning on talking about creative financing, but that's where we went. The amount of money we're going to make on this storage deal for our investors. Okay. That's one of our things. You make money for your investors, you'll be fine. The amount of money we're going to make for our investors on this deal. Imagine we were bickering and we were complaining about the broker fee. Like, who pays this? And the funny thing is, literally a week before this, there was a text thread going around Grant Cardone's text that was like, if anybody asks you for 3%, just tell them like you're never doing it and just ignore them completely. I'm like, well, if the deal pencils out, just pay them. And people thought I was crazy, this and that. Next week, I'm paying 10% broker fee. But look, this is a deal that is freaking crazy. Not just about the investment that comes back, but the you know, the location of where we were, you know, in Fort Pierce, like this is where we think it's going to be amazing. And the deal's awesome. The relationships are awesome. And we leverage this deal to get more deals. Okay. It's not just about one deal. Never look at real estate just from one deal, especially when it's multifamily. You want to look at it over the course of 10 years. You want to look at how much relationships can I build? Okay. And you don't ever want to look at real estate from a short sighted place. Okay. That's why I was pitching on Grant's call, and it's really, I learned that I need to be, you know, I have to be able to control my environment. It was like loud, all this, if anybody was on that call. And you couldn't really hear me. And then people were like saying stuff that aren't even like relevant, but I couldn't hear anything. And then I got cut off. So, you know, you can't just listen to what everybody is saying. Right? You got to know the game yourself, and you got to have a team, you got to have confidence. And so, yeah. Anyways, let me show you guys something in the last 14 minutes. Anybody have questions about this? Hello, I'm back. Great. Mouse is not working.
Hey, Alex, can you tell everybody real quick, like, what your projection or your intention is for the last property that was closed, the Fort Pierce?
Yeah. 1 second. So we underwrite our deals very conservatively. And we did, you know, you know what, let me just pull it up. My memory is not that great.
I mean, like that storage unit, like what's your game plan for it? Do you have like, I've heard you talk before about exit strategy. What is like your exit strategy on a property like that? Do you hold it for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years?
Yeah, I mean, the goal is to refinance this thing after our CapEx. Right. And if you think about it, we drew it out. We have an engineer draw things out. We're looking at least an extra $20,000 a month, right, in storage and car storage. Like this is without raising any rents anywhere else. We're just gonna fill up that parking lot with $200 a month, you know, covered parking, whatever, 100 spaces. That's $20,000 in income that we didn't even have before, right? It wasn't even written in our underwriting. When we showed it, I didn't even show that. And you multiply that by 12, that's $240,000. Okay. Let's also add that office. Let's just say it's $1,000 a month that we're going to get times 12. So you add another $12,000 to, this is your NOI. Okay. And if every dollar that you increase in your NOI, on a low end, it's probably somewhere worth about $16 in your evaluation of the property. Okay, so let's multiply that number by 16. That's 4.32 million conservatively after our, you know, CapEx work that we increase in valuation of the property. We put $1.5 million down. We raised like 1.9. So let's just, you know, divide that by 1.9 million. We're going to be doing in this short time 212% on their money. Okay, that's not a 2x. That's a 3x. That's a 3x on your money conservatively. Okay, and that's without increasing any rents. That's you know, all that stuff that we already have on the deal. So it's going to have cash flow. It's really great, and we're going to be, and we pay out monthly. That's like our thing. We do a 6-month stabilization period and we pay out monthly. Cash flowing day one. That is our thing. Our strategy part of it is it's got a cash flow going in day one. Now I did get some heat on Grant's call. They're like, well, you know, you should be going into every deal 6%, 7% cash flowing. I'm like, you tell me which deal is going to do that. And, you know, Ryan was like, oh, you know, we're going to get this deal. So he we're going to get this deal that we're paying all cash for. So if you pay all cash for a deal to get 5-6% cash flow, you should. You got no debt. But if he put debt on that deal, it would be negative cash flowing. All right. And I don't know. I don't really see that many deals today that you can go in positively cash flowing. This is why so many deals are not penciling out. Now, Joe did find an RV park that is cash flowing 10%. You'll get that, but that doesn't have that many structures. That's just kind of like a property, and you park, RVs on, and you can get good deals on those for sure. I don't know how much they calculate in the evaluation of the property, though. That's the thing I want to look into myself. How do they evaluate the property? All right, so I'm going to show you guys something. This mouse is working. Which, most people don't show this. No, nobody teaches this. Which is how does a deal work on a GP side? All right. Okay, well, let's just use this for peers deal. So let's say, person number one found the deal. Wait, let me move my iPad. And finding the deals, whoever is deal sourcing. Okay, let's say this deal is 3.3 million, right? We put $300,000 down and all that stuff. The GP table, because this is a 70-30 split on this deal that we're doing, the general partner equity is 589,000. We also charge 2% acquisition, 2% asset management, 2% exit.
Hey, Alex, could you
Can
zoom
you
in
make
a
it
little more?
larger?
Oh, okay. Yes.
Thanks.
Yeah, I was wondering who's going to say something, or we're just going to sit here quietly while nobody see. Can you guys see better now? Better?
Yeah, almost there. Maybe one
Not
more
really.
time.
That? Better?
Much better.
This thing's like massive on my screen. I can't even see it. It's so big. All right. So deal size, we can make it 10 million. The GP value would be 30% of the capital raise. So let's say 10 million, we need to raise 4.5 million. This is where you get the split. Okay. 70% is the investors, 30% is the general partner. So you have LP, GP. LP, we raised 4.5 million. 1.3 million of that is GP value. Acquisition cost is 2% of the deal size. It's a $10 million deal. That means the general partners, okay, whoever's in here, if I'm by myself, I get $200,000 at closing. You raise that in here. Your raise includes your down payment, plus your closing, plus your CapEx, plus your acquisition. All right, that's your raise. That's including the 4.5 million. Now, how does the general partners decide how much people are going to get paid in there? Because what if there is 5 of us? What if there's 7 of us? Deal source. Okay, I'm going to do 2 people, okay, in this deal. Alex finds the deal. 100%. You know what? We'll do Alex, Joe, and Ryan. Ah, my mouse. Okay, so you know what? Me and Joe are both, 100%. So right now, let's just look across to the side on this table. Oh, wait. We have to put money down too. Okay. So this deal, let's say we needed to put, so for a $10 million deal, you need to put $100,000 down. So I put nothing. Joe puts in 50. Ryan puts in 50. We have some other closing costs, but we won't worry about that right now. But everybody, see, Joe got 8% of this deal, and Ryan got 8% of the GP position. The acquisition and the GP table are split based on these buckets. Deal source is finding the deal, negotiating the deal, getting it under contract. Okay. All those are steps in here. It might not, even if I found the deal, Joe and Ryan doing other work, this is going to be split here. Okay. Asset management. We're going to do, okay, 20, 40, 40. So now Joe and Ryan have 14% of the deal, of the bucket. Of the entire deal, sorry, of the percentage. Joe is 40% of the 35%. Ryan is 40% of the 35%. Alex is 20% of 35%. We can also say, just by looking at this one bucket, asset management, it's 35%, right? 1.35 million. That's the GP equity value generated times 0.2. That means by having 20%, oops, sorry, 1.35 million times 0.35. This bucket right here is worth 472,500. Asset management bucket, 35% of 1.35, that. Also, the people in here, this bucket is also worth 35% of the $200,000 acquisition. Nobody teaches this, okay? Nobody's really teaching how the GP deals are done.
Alex, can you give an example for everyone about how the acquisition works?
Acquisition. So acquisition is 2% of the deal size. Or you can say 3%, whatever you charge. This is something that you want to look at when you're investing into a deal or when you're running a deal is 2%. What's 2% of the deal? Some people charge, I've heard people charge up to 5%, which,
And then,
gets pretty crazy.
And then how does it get distributed throughout the GP table?
So it's the same split. Okay. So 10%, whoever is in this bucket, let's say Alex right here, 100% of this 10% bucket, I'm going to get $20,000 for finding this deal. That's part of the acquisition of here. Make sense?
Quick question. Back in the asset management part of it, you had put 20, 40, 40. How is that decided? Is that just an agreement upon each person? Okay.
Yeah. So I can say, I'm going to be lead on this. I will oversee. So I'll get 20%. Joe is boots on the ground. He's going to be doing a lot of work. Ryan is doing all our marketing, doing our investor relations, doing, all the other things, marketing, project management, meeting the, managing the asset, the property manager. He's going to be doing a lot. Great. So that's how you do it. So there's a team that I worked with before, and as a goodbye, like as a kind of splitting up of like the team, I added them to a deal that we're doing and just gave everybody 4 or 5% here, just as a, just adding them on there. They don't really have a role, but they get a percentage of the deal. So who's going to guarantee the loan? Okay. Usually this is 10% actually. And then whoever signs on the loan is about 10%. So Joe's going to sign on the loan. All right. And then on this table, and this is our table. This is not, this is different. This is our table that we use. Other people might use something different, but based on right here, based on what you see here. Okay. Alex got 10% of everything here. Joe and Ryan have 5% of this. This makes 100%. All right. You guys, these two things make 100% each. From this bucket, Joe got 5%. of 1.35 million of 200,000. Same with Ryan. I didn't get nothing here because I didn't put any money up. This is risk capital. You have to put the down payment. You have to pay for inspections, appraisals, anything else, extensions. They're all part of risk capital. If we don't close this deal, you could lose this money. All right. People lose money on this all the time. I know somebody recently that just lost 500,000 on it. One person. And then asset management, you get percentages here. Alex has 7% of this thing. Joe and Ryan have 14. Raising capital. Joe and Ryan pooped the bed and raised no capital, and Alex raised the whole thing. So I got 35% of this. Joe signed on to the loan. He gets 10%. Now we go out to our total adjusted. So you can look at what your percentage, what you did on this deal. Based on this deal, $10 million deal, I've added $702,000 to my net worth, and I get an acquisition fee of $104,000. Joe got this, Ryan got this. So you see, like, you can make good money participating in deals and being able to do deals. Okay. The opportunity to be able to do a deal is incredible on this side. A lot of people don't really recognize how big that is. Now, let's say this becomes $100 million deal. You add a zero behind everything. Now we're talking financial freedom quickly. Okay, and the goal, so what we do at Legends is we teach one thing, which is how do you become, and I'm coining this, I don't think anybody else coined this, is a passive GP. A passive general partner. Okay, because really on this deal, the only people running this deal and operating and actually have to do stuff is in the asset management. Because if you put money down, you get this percentage. You found the deal, you found this percentage, you raised the capital, you signed on to the loan. These are all passive positions. Okay, you don't really have to do anything. The goal is to get yourself to a point where you can do this. Money always speaks. Money always creates, it always gives you speed and gets you to places faster with money. So I got the net, Joe's got the net worth. He signed on to this loan. It's a $5 million loan. Joe's net worth is $6 million, and he's got the experience because he's done a bunch of deals, right? Got one under his belt, 2, 3 under his belt, and he's had these deals for 2 years. So he can sign on to the loan. He made $135,000 just by being able to sign on to a loan. And this is a non-recourse loan, so he can go sign on another $6 million loan, and then another, and then another, and then another. You use your net worth to make money. This is how you get to freedom. Okay, we have somebody that signs on to our loans, like big loans, and he doesn't do anything else. He doesn't raise capital. You don't call him. You don't do nothing. His assistant sends all the paperwork to the lender. Does nothing. Just adds $27 million to his net worth like every year. Okay. If you have some capital, put the capital up in here, because when the deal closes and you raise 50,000, you can pull this money out and go do it again on the next deal. So you got 5% of acquisition and the GP value deal here. And then you pull the money out. Okay, let's see what that actually even looks like. So let's go to Ryan. Let's say Ryan gets no asset management. And
yeah, I want to be a passive GP. Passive GP.
So Ryan's like, I make money in my business. I'm just gonna put 100K down as a risk capital. And at the end of this deal, I'm just gonna pull it out. When this deal is closed, I'm going to pull out the risk capital because you raised 4.5 million. That's all we needed to raise. This 100K gets pulled out. He still has 10% from putting the money up. Now he took his 100K out. He's generated 135,000 in value. in his net worth and then got another check for $20,000. Now he goes into the next deal, does this again and again and again and again. This is how you turn $100,000 to $1 million in 1 year. There's a lot of great things in real estate. If you learn this, like, and you have a team to do it with, you can create financial freedom very, very quickly. Now, it's not as easy as that. It sounds very simple, but it's not as easy as that, because we're not, if you're just getting in, you may get like a little 5% here for being boots on the ground. You raise a little bit of money and you get a very small everything. This is not retirement money. Okay, we say the one thing that we say is your first year or your first 2 years, just consider yourself not making any money. Chop the whole thing up for education so that you can build strong foundation, build strong relationships, that when you go into a deal, you go into a 100 or you go into a 30 million, $50 million deal. If I had no money, so I had money when I came into this multifamily game, but if I had no money, I would be like doing whatever it takes just to get a couple little percentages. I don't care about my returns at all. I would get on as many deals as I can, just busting my ass to learn, just so that I can earn my way onto a bigger deal with bigger percentages. And then I'm in the money. And then I can take the money out and then I can start playing risk. And then and then by then I probably also have some seeds planted and I could raise some money too. And then you build your net worth. You use this first column right here to build your net worth so that you can start to sign on to loans. All right, that's the game. That's the whole game, is to become passive so that you can be out doing other things. You can go on vacation. You can go to Bali, all of that. Make this your 10-year game, not a 1-year game. Too many people try to get onto deals and try to create massive results in 1 year. Like, don't even do that to yourself. Be realistic. All right. So I did go over time a little bit. I feel like this did provide a lot of value for people. We really lost only like 4 or 5 people on this entire hour and a half, which is, it's a great sign that we're providing value on this call. So I'll take another like 5 minutes to answer any questions, any thoughts, any comments, and then we will close this out. Thanks, Allie. Yeah. I'm in a lot of different masterminds and nobody taught me this. Nobody taught me any of this. Okay, nobody's got questions. I guess
What masterminds are you involved with?
So I'm 2nd year in Grant Cardone's club. I just renewed, and I am in Rod Cleef's Warrior program, and Chris Crone's program, and also now in Robert Martinez's program. I'm a crackhead for masterminds.
Hey, Alex, somebody did ask a question about if that split that you're talking about, the 10, 10, 35, 35, whatever, 10, is that standard for most people, those percentages?
So again, it's up to you. So let me pull that right back up for a second.
Yeah, it's the 10, 10, 35, 35, 10 for the,
Okay.
For the 5 main jobs.
So let's say, so our deal, it was a seller financing deal. We didn't have to do anything. We can make this 0. Right? We can make this 0 and add 10% to the due diligence, which is kind of what we did. We added 5% here because this was money that went hard day 1 and we needed it right away. So I was like, being the lead on the deal, I decided that, oops, what did I just show? Are we looking at it? You guys looking at the screen?
Yeah, now we are. Yeah.
Okay, so I moved 10% from loan balance sheet over to risk capital, to risk money, because this was money that we really needed and it was risky. The people that risked it, I wanted to reward them even more. Right. So that means Ryan over here putting 100K down, this 20% risk, it doubled his acquisition and his net worth value.
Yeah.
Okay. And this deal, it's creating this value if it hit the projections that we were going after. Now on the 4Peers deal, if we 3x, this is not really the money either anymore. Okay, it goes up. All right. So
Hey, question, Alex.
Yo.
You said earlier the acquisition fee gets distributed at closing. Is that
around closing?
Around closing. So if whoever's playing a role in the GP table in whichever deal it is, there's a distribution at or around closing for that split, the way it's split, right?
Yeah. So usually, okay, what we've done so far is because we've put ourselves up against the wall so many times that we actually may have had to put a little bit of our own money in to close the deal, and then we finish raising after we close the deal. So it's when deal is closed, okay, we've raised all the capex and everything, then we do the distribution to all of our GPs. So like, on that 4Peers deal, when we closed it, everybody got, we did a distribution through our investor portal, which went directly to everybody's accounts. Yeah. So that acquisition fee, that's right there on the right side, we distribute it. Look at that. Joe gets $4.
$4, man.
What happened?
I don't know, but I was going to go to Starbucks with all that money, but now I'm going to go to Double D's.
Right. So yeah, let me close this. Don't save. Okay, cool. Yeah. So, this is what's possible. I want people to be able to see, if you can see it, you can see how you can participate in it. All right. So yeah. Let's see. Any other questions I missed? Okay. Roberta, I'll help you. We talk tomorrow about it.
Do you guys do 50% down on a majority of your deals for lower interest, or do you do 25% sometimes?
So it depends. It depends on your DSCR. So we will kind of show that, we don't really have the time now to show it, but it depends. It depends on how much cash flow you can get. No banks are going to give you 25%, 20%. Let you do that today in today's market, right? They're going to ask for 30, 35% down payment just because it's risky out there right now. They feel the risk, so they want more money from you. But this is not like single families and stuff like that. This is multifamily. Yeah, 60 LTV. You got to put 40% down. 40% down plus closing costs, plus CapEx, plus all that. So if you can make a deal cash flow and make it good for your investors when 50% of the money is put up, that's why these deals are so solid. That's why multifamily is the way to go. Yeah. So
good question. Might be a silly question, but in the spreadsheet where you showed a GP value creation based on the 30% split, is that money like made at the exit, or what? I'm trying to understand how you got to that number.
Yeah. So the evaluation is at the split. So let me just, okay. Well, you know what? Since we're all here, I don't feel like closing a Zoom room on 51 people. Let's just open up an underwriting. Which one do I want to show? This? Oops, that's the GP table split. I put things into folders and now I can't find anything. And I went from 2 screens to 1, so now all the folders collapse together. But that's a really good question, so I want you to see.
Is the quick answer, it's equity in the deal with the exception of the acquisition fee, correct?
Yeah. So, but like, how do we come about that money? All right. That's the question here. So this is what a Michael Blank sheet looks like. You start with the scenario. So this is that for Pierce deal that we looked at. $3 million was our purchase price. We had to put, 1.5 million down. We raised an extra like $800,000 for this deal. That is just like absurd. Okay. Even with that raise, we were going to do 141% returns on our money. Like, that is an absurd amount of money to raise on a $3 million deal. 2.36 million we raised out of a $3 million deal. We actually didn't raise that much. We actually found a different way to increase the income even more. But so this deal was out of control. 7% cash returns on your money. So where we find our returns. Okay. For you so let's look at the summary of combined cash flow is 181% on this deal. But because it's a 70-30, we'll look at the projected manager cash flow, manager money. Okay. Acquisition fee was $60,000. It was actually $66K. So that already got distributed. We distribute a cash flow for ourselves on a 70-30 each year. Okay. And based on our exit, we were going to get $670,000 as part of that exit. It's a 70-30 split. So our net worth, that first column that you saw, the net worth part, comes from these numbers right here for the general partners, for the GPs. Okay, so there was a total of $894,000 that was paid out to the investors. And on a 5-year exit for our investors, $3.37 million came out. So they made 141% on their money. It's a 2.4x in the 3 years, actually. It was like 3 years. Because we were going to refinance. Actually, no, we did a 5-year sale. So, oh no, we did a refinance. Refinance year 3, sale on year 5. On the refinance, we take almost 100% of the money out for our investors. 95.58% of the money came out. And basically, our investors are operating at infinite returns. And we could sell here, or we can carry on longer, but we want to do projections based on 5 years. That's what everybody likes to see. Investors are used to seeing it that way. So that's what we do. We can drag this out to 10 years. The investment gets way bigger. All right. So does that kind of answer your question? Wait, is this big enough for everybody to see? Nobody says anything. Good job. Okay.
Alex, for your investors, do you ever show them a cash out refi at year 5 and then a sell projection at year 10?
No, because that is way too far out to project like that. You just do a 5-year sale. You don't need to do a 5-year refinance and then continue carrying it on, because then the numbers look really weird. Then people start to see like 700% returns, 1,000% returns. Like, okay, but it's over a course of 15 years, 20 years. Like, it's not, this is what Ryan asked me when we went to Roberts. He's like, dude, how is he returning 900%? I'm like, because he's had the freaking deal for 15 years. You want to make it simpler, not more confusing for investors. So I think it's a good look at 5 years, because and this is how real estate goes. If you can hold a real estate property for 5 years and you can cash flow it, you're going to be really happy with the outcome of the property. Right? You're going to hit multiple different swings in the market where you can exit, you can refinance. Like, It's a good, we really want to look at it in 10 years, but 5 years is a good, it's just kind of standard industry how we're showing people numbers. So we don't want to confuse people. All right. So this is one of those, this is a sheet you put in scenarios. You you look at different numbers. We can go over this on the next week's call. Plugging these numbers in. So if you guys look at this sheet, it's a interest only 105, like we said on the thing, 105,000 we're paying to the seller. We have a $318,000 NOI. Oh, management fee is 2%. So let me change that. Oh, sorry. Now we took 1% down from the investors' total returns. Yeah. So this asset management fee comes out of the gross. This is what asset managers get paid. That's the asset management column. And then the 80-20. Oh, this is an 80-20. So we get 70-30. Yeah. Okay. So 70-30 split. And the investors get 140,000 of the cash flow. The GP team gets 60. And this kind of just goes on. And then we exit. So this deal, we did a 3-year refinance, 5-year exit, because that is what we're doing. We're doing a CapEx work on it. Once you do the CapEx work, you want to refinance. I want to get out of this 7% interest only with the seller. Like, I want to fix debt with Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae. I want to fix debt at 5%, 4.25%, whatever. Right now it's probably like 6.25%, 6.5%. But either way, get out of that debt with the seller, get better leverage. We put $2.3 million up on a $3 million deal. When we go back to the seller, to go back to a lender, it'll be different. Like, look, DSCR on this deal is ridiculous because we went seller financing, but the deal was so good, we couldn't let it go. Look at the 3.03 DSCR. When we go to the bank's going to give us, like, I don't know, let's say 6. Now the bank's going to be like, all right, well, we don't need you to put 50% down. We need you to put 30% down. And if you put 30% down, you're still super high. Like, this deal is just it's too good. It's too good to even be underwriting like here. Otherwise, it just looks too ridiculous. We couldn't even show some of this stuff to our investors because it would just look too crazy. So we did it as conservative as we could, showed a 2.4%, 2.4 times your returns in 5 years. And, this could easily be like 5-6 times. Yeah. So this is a Michael Blank sheet. You can go to Michael Blank and it's called the SDA. It's what was it? What does SDA stand for?
Syndicated Deal Analyzer.
Yes. So Quentin he said it earlier. It's $150. He sends you a video, how to underwrite, how to do all this stuff. This is why I didn't want to go over it on this call, because you can just purchase that for $150 and learn it. But I wanted you guys to see something bigger than just underwriting a deal. All right. This is not shit that they teach you. You got to go through a bunch of deals to learn this. And most people that learn this don't really want to tell everybody it. Because A, it's too much of a pain in the ass to explain. Nobody's got the patience for that. And B, why create way more competition for yourself? Okay. So other thoughts, other questions? We'll just might as well run this 5 more minutes. And then that's it.
If you just raise capital, but you don't find the deal and you don't put in any of your own money, what do you get at the end of the purchase?
So let's just say that we used that same example before of, 1.35 million, right? That's what the general partners were going to get. And 30% of 35% of that bucket, if you raised all the capital that is needed, you would get $472,500 as your net net worth increase, your value. And then you would get 200,000 times 0.35, $70,000 as a check coming out. Now, if you raise half of that, then take that and divide it by half. If you raise, 10% of that, take that number, divided by 10. And you can build it out that way. It's just the goal is not to get cash quick. The goal is to build your net worth. You always want to build your net worth. And this is why it's so important to be a limited partner too. Okay. You could be a passive GP. That's the goal. But for most people that don't want to learn and do real estate, they should be going at passive investment. You want to get, ultimately what you want to do is you want to be so passive that you get your check every single month and you don't worry about the deal at all. Okay. You just invest in a bunch of deals. You get your check, you build it. Your net worth is huge because you have your money in there. Because if you got the money, you're going to spend it. All right. I know so many people that's been flipping, and all they got to show for is like $50,000. They're one bad flip away from losing all their money. Versus people that have just been stashing money in investments in these types of deals. Yep, flipper over here. Listen, I was there. I flipped. You flip, we flip. You get one deal where the freaking well was supposed to be $12,000 and cost $72,000. Okay, and then everything's done. And you're also, and flipping is adding to your freaking capital gains and your income, your taxable income. That's what flipping's doing. When you invest passively, you get all the write-offs. It's literally the tax code is telling you what to do and nobody does it. You're rich one day and poor the next day, flipping. Exactly. Every single flipper, it's the same freaking story. Yeah. So, if you're going to be a capital raiser, you got to get yourself to the mindset that passive investing as an LP is the position that people want to be in. You got to teach people to get there. Because if you got the money in your account, you're going to spend it. Put it in an untouchable asset. This is why Grant says, I want to be broke. I'm putting all my money in all of my accounts so people can't ask me for money. I put it all into real estate passively. So, so people ask me for money. I got no money. He's got no money. And that's what you want to be. You want to do that. You're flipping one day and you got too much money. You're going to blow it. How does someone join Legends? I was asked. So every Wednesday, it's kind of like a private invite. It's a small group. So, yeah, it's a private invite into our group. It's $15K for 2 years. I mean, if you get on one deal, that's paid for, right? I mean, you guys saw the amount of money you can make in there. So the learning and all that. But it is private invite. We see a lot of people that are like really a contribution to our group that are coming onto these free calls, and you will get a private invite. If I see your face a lot, and some people I'm just like, oh, I really like this person. They've been here a couple times and I see their smile. I feel like there's a connection, and you're going to get invited. And then somebody else in Legends might feel the same thing and say, hey, I really like this person. What do you think? And then we send an invite. So, yeah. Okay. That's it. That's all then. It's been real. Come hang with us Monday night. And Monday nights are always really fun too. And then next Thursday, next Monday, next Thursday, next Monday.
Thank you, Alex. It's been great.
Yeah, and we're still deciding if we're going to go to the 10X conference or we're going to go to Brad Sumrock's event. Brad is calling me and texting me every day. So I'm gonna let him pitch me tomorrow. If he says I'm gonna let you speak on stage, we're all going to Brad Sumrock's group event.
I registered for grants already.
You did?
Of course, because we talked about, yeah, I did.
All good. We can go in different places.
Yeah. Where's Brad's at again?
Dallas.
Dallas.
So we got crews, we got people in Dallas, and we'll do a banging meetup over there too. Wherever we go, we're gonna do a meetup. And yes, it is on the same day. It's ridiculous. But it's in like 3 weeks. So stay tuned. We will be let's go to Grants. Yeah.
I'm with you, Ryan. I say we bring 100 people to grants.
Yeah, we brought 55 last time. You know, Grant and Sherry called me. So I have my ticket to Grants already. Look at all
Same
you
here.
guys. All right. I guess
Same
I
here.
will. I guess I'm gonna tell Brad that, next time, stop having events the same time as Grant. I'll be at Grant's. All
I'll
right.
try to. I have a wedding to go to. I'll try to move that.
Move the wedding. What's possible?
Yeah, hey, stranger things have been done.
Yeah. All right, fine. I'll probably pick up like 50 Grant Cardone tickets and we'll all go, and then we'll get more people to go. That's what I did last time.
Yeah,
Also, hey,
You're
August.
easy like Sunday morning, man.
August, there's 10x ladies. Okay, 10x ladies. So even for men, I mean, for women, you guys should definitely go to 10x ladies. But even for men, I was one out of like 6 or 7 men in like a room of like 3,000 women. It was an interesting experience for sure, but it was fun, and I already bought 30 tickets.
I'm not sure about that one. After I heard Elena speak at 10X Growth Con, she cries too much.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. It's cool to just meet all the powerful women. Like, I'm big on empowering women to succeed in this game. So to watch that, it was great for me. And I think more men need to be a part of that, to champion women. Like, if you look at Legends group, I think our group, we have more women than men.
Yeah, we're
seriously
mostly
do.
women. True.
Yeah.
I get to access the divine feminine and be okay with that.
Yeah. Don't worry. Us men in the group will hold it down. All right. So this was a lot of fun. I thought this was one of the better calls. I usually don't extend myself over by 30 minutes. Actually, that's a lie. I do it all the time. So, all right. That's it. That's it.
Thanks so much, Alex.
All right, guys. It was a lot.